Hey! So, I just read my favorite book of 2025, and it was a fantasy book, which is surprising because I don't pick up a lot of that genre. But since this was a happy success, I thought I would go through every fantasy book that is currently on my TBR and show you all of them. And if you have any thoughts about these, think that I would like any of these books, then please tell me. Also, I don't know the synopsis of a lot of these because I like going into books pretty blindly. I'm just like always hearing about books, then I'm putting them on my wish list. Then I forget that I put them on my wish list, but they're on my wish list, and then I buy them, and then they're just on my TBR, and I don't know anything about them, which is a dumb process, but one I trust in. No, I don't trust in it, but I do it anyway. But yeah, let's get started. So the first thing I have on my TBR is For the Wolf by Hannah Witten. I bought this, I think, in 2024 and actually started it back then, but DNF'd it pretty quickly. I should probably say that this is like a romantic fantasy, I think, but I heard that it's more fantasy, and for the purpose of this video, I'm only counting the like fantasy forward books because I have a lot of like romances with fantasy elements, but I'd consider those more like paranormal romance because they don't really have like fantasy worlds, fantasy plots. They're just like a little magic, a little werewolves, or something like that. But yeah, I basically picked this up because I heard it was like werewolves, but I think the wolf is there. The wolf in here is not even a wolf; he's a man, and the book didn't really feel that cool to me. But if you like it, please tell me. I'm probably gonna read this one day. At the moment I have DNF'd it and it's gone back on my TBR, but I kind of live for this cover. It looks really beautiful, so maybe I'm gonna pick it up one day. Next, there's this huge box set of Lord of the Rings. This is probably the oldest thing I have in my TBR. I bought this like 3 years ago when I was first getting back into reading and didn't even know what I liked, and I just bought random things that I thought would maybe get me interested in reading. I actually got like 100 pages through the Fellowship of the Ring. And I was like so bored, but I never unhauled these. I don't have a particular interest in them. I didn't even see the movies because I know they're cinematic masterpieces. This just is something that is so uninteresting to me. Like, medieval inspired high fantasy can, like, it's, I've literally never enjoyed something like it. I must say it's European medieval inspired fantasy. If it's anything from another culture, I'm immediately more interested. If it's anything like from my own culture, get away with it. I have seen way too much of it in history classes and anything. No, I don't want to see it. So maybe I'm gonna get to it one day. I mean, I think there's audiobooks on YouTube, so I wouldn't even have to search long for them and would get to these with like tandem reading pretty quickly, but yeah, no, these are classics I'm not interested in at all. For something I'm definitely totally interested in, and that's probably gonna get read this summer, this is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This is like ancient Greek, like inspired by the, how's it called? The thing that Christopher Nolan is filming now. I had to translate that in my Latin class, and I hated it. But I don't hate the actual story. I think it's pretty interesting, especially because I like Greek shit, because the Greeks were gay. But yeah, I just hate a Latin class. But yeah, this is about some Greek people, probably Achilles, and it's very gay and very beautiful, I heard. I know nothing about these. Help me. Yeah, that's just me with my books on my TBR. But yeah, this is gonna get read this summer because I think this has a summer vibe to me. Just trust me on that. Like, I can't speak of authority because I haven't read this. But I'm gonna do it. And then I'm gonna tell you. For something that's more my wintry TBR, this is The Bear and the Nightingale by Catherine Arden. This one I got for Christmas, and I'm gonna read this winter. I hope so, at least. Yeah, I don't know. My reading is pretty inconsistent. But I'm on a streak right now, and once I'm finishing the book I'm reading for my next vlog, I'm probably gonna get to this one. But yeah, this is, I thought I'd like this because this is like folklore inspired, and it is like, oh, Christianity is bad because it's driving the folklore away and replacing it with their own weird religious stuff, which is something I'm always interested in because I hate the church so much. So yeah, also this is set in Russia, and I've never read anything set in Russia except for maybe some like very standard spy thrillers that were like, oh my god, big bad Russians that drink too much vodka. Yeah, not interested in that. But this one could be pretty cool. I'm gonna read it soon. Another one I got for Christmas, this is Lonely Castle in the Mirror by Mizuki Tsushimura. I also got this for Christmas. This one I got because I heard it was Ghibli inspired, and I love anything Ghibli. I also don't really know anything about this, but I love the cover, and you're gonna see me read this at some point. Next, this is Wolfbane by Michelle Paver, but this is representative of the entire Chronicles of Ancient Darkness series by her. If you don't know, Michelle Paver is literally my favorite author. She wrote two of my favorite books, Wakenhurst and Dark Matter, and I really liked her other horror stuff. She's written some more general fiction when she first started that I'm not interested in at all, so I'm not gonna read that. And she's also written another fantasy series that I'm also not very interested in. But I really wanted to pick up something from her since I'm finished all finished with the horror stuff. So I just picked up this YA fantasy series. I have all of the 8 books. I just pulled out this one because it was the nearest and I didn't want to pull out all 8 books. But yeah, this is set in like a fantasy world that is pretty like Native American inspired, I think. And I'm like halfway through the first book, but then I had to DNF it because Francine Toon's new book Bluff was coming out in December, and also I had a lot of school stuff in December, so yeah, sadly I didn't get to read the entire series in December as I thought I would. But I enjoyed what I read of the first book, so I'm gonna pick it up definitely at some point, which is probably what I said about all of these. But you're just gonna have to trust me. Next, this is The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. This is one of my mom's favorite books. And I actually was like never interested in this, but we went to like a flea market. It was really big and it was so hot that I literally I started to sweat all my makeup off because it was summer and it was so hot and there was nothing there. I literally bought nothing. And I was like, I did not drive out here to sweat like in the sun and not even buy anything. Also, I do actually do makeup. You're just never gonna see me do it in these videos because I mostly filmed it after school and I'm a lazy bitch. If you know anything, like if you should know anything about me, then I'm gonna go to school in full glam, but I'm not gonna do makeup after school because I'm definitely gonna put it off after school because then it, like after half a day it looks like dry. And yeah, maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I don't care. It looks good enough. And then I'm not gonna put it on again. No, never. So yeah, this YouTube channel you're gonna get to see the real me. Oh my god, this video is already so unhinged. I'm so sorry. But yeah, this is one of my favorite books of my mom, and I bought it at that flea market because I just wanted to buy something, and I got this hardcover copy for like $1.50. So why not? And I heard this is really beautifully written. It has some like women stuff that is not the greatest, but yeah, male writers, I guess. I shouldn't say that, but whatever. I'm gonna read it at some point. This seems like a fall read to me. Then this is The Full Moon Coffee Shop by Mai Mochizuki. This is also one I got for Christmas. This is like also this like low fantasy vibe from like Japan that is like whimsical and stuff. That's just the vibe I love. And yeah, I also don't know a lot about it, but I'm gonna read it at some point. And if you have any thoughts, please tell me. Stuff I think I didn't like. This one, Direbound by Zabel Sorensen. I bought this on sale and it was still fucking expensive. But I put this on my wish list because I really anticipated it, and I don't know for what reason. I really should like read something about the books before I pick them up, but I'm so stubborn sometimes because if you know anything about me and you know that I love werewolf romances, I love the werewolf smut. Last year, I actually didn't put out a book video about my favorite books of 2025 because 2025 was not a good year and I didn't have that many favorites. But this one about like two of my favorite books. My favorite book ever is Wolfsong by TJ Klune. I also read it last year. A lot of gay werewolves in there. And my second favorite book of last year, not of all time, but of last year, was another werewolf smut book called Hunt Me by Faye Quinn. And that was really smutty. So if I see anything with like wolves and romance, I'm gonna buy it. Which has led me astray with For the Wolf. And it did with this. I started reading this about, like, there's still a bookmark in here, 115 pages. I'm so bored. There's no werewolves in here. There's people riding on wolves. And it's just, this is YA fantasy with blood. You can't tell me otherwise. And I'm not even reading that much YA fantasy. Just from what I know that I read of YA fantasy when I was still actively reading YA fantasy before I started reading again, which is like 7 years ago at this point. So this is really not a good experience. And it's also just Fourth Wing. I haven't even read Fourth Wing. I watched 8 hours of spoiler videos about Fourth Wing to convince me that I maybe would like it, and all that they did was reaffirm my belief that I would not like it. Also, so I didn't pick it up. But this one is really Fourth Wingy to me. Just that they ride on wolves instead of dragons. And I heard this was enemies to lovers. I heard that. It's a rumor. I don't know. But if it is, the only enemy guy that was so far introduced is a huge asshole. I don't want her to get with him. So yeah. This is a failure. But it's still on my TBR. It's not egregious enough for me to unhaul it. So maybe you're gonna get read. And for the last thing, I mean, pretty obviously, I mentioned this book in my last video. This is Night Tiger by Yang-Si Chu. I mean, The Foxwife, my first 5-star of 2025, was also by this author. And obviously, I'm gonna read this in summer. But actually, I had this before The Foxwife because I saw this when I was like shopping for clothes at a TJ Maxx, okay? I was shopping at a TJ Maxx. And this was in their book section, which their book sections here, like, it's crazy. There's all the trashy thrillers. You can find everything Frida McFadden, sometimes a little Colleen Hoover, all the other like thriller stuff that is really not good, and a lot of like cloth-bound classics, but they're always overpriced. And then sometimes you find hidden gems. Like this one was $5 or something. I was like, yeah, obviously I'm gonna buy that because I didn't buy anything else except for like a Juicy Couture pajama because I love that. And I love the vibe. Actually, you probably saw me like even wear one of those. And like my first vlog, yeah, where I read the short books I got for Christmas. If you want to see me wearing that, it's in there. Also, that was one vlog I wore makeup. In the B-roll. You can see me in the B-roll. But you cannot see me that well because I probably showed my face in the B-roll like one time. Yeah, and then when I wore the pajama, it was off again, so don't watch it for that. It's also like not worth it. It's literally just foundation and a little concealer and eye makeup and blush. I don't know why I'm bragging about this. I'm not bragging, I'm putting myself down. I am so dumb. But yeah, I think I'm gonna love this because I love this I can speak anymore, help me. Because I love this author's other book. Help! What is going on? This is unhinged. I'm so sorry. But yeah, I'm just gonna do. So if you think that I will like any of these books, if you have any thoughts about any of these books, please tell me. I'm sorry for the format of this video because I don't know what's wrong with me. I had a pretty good week actually. I did really well at my chemistry test, which you didn't even know that I had because this video is gonna go up before the vlog that I mentioned that I'm going to write a chemistry test in. So this is some interesting time manipulation. Maybe I'm also Christopher Nolan. He has a time manipulation movie, right? I've never seen a Christopher Nolan movie except for The Dark Knight. Why am I on Christopher Nolan? Yeah. Oh my god. This is unhinged. Yeah, comment, please, or do anything. If you didn't enjoy this video, I can totally understand that. But my other content is better. Probably. I hope you enjoyed this still. And I'm gonna see you in another video. Bye!